According to sources from procon.org, in the United States, there are about 88.5 guns per 100 people. To put that in perspective, that's 270 million guns in America. That's the highest total per capita in the world. Proponents, people who are for stricter gun control, state that the Second Amendment is initially made for military and that gun control should be the top priority. Opponents, people who are against stricter gun control, argue that guns are for self-defense and that the Second Amendment is there to protect their individual right to own a gun. So let's dig a little deeper and talk about the idea of what gun control really is. America's gun control stems from its colonial history, its revolutionary roots, and the Second Amendment. What I'm going to talk to you today about is the concept of gun control and the views that proponents and opponents have. Now, opponents argue that limiting gun ownership is unconstitutional because it violates the Second Amendment. They also say this statement quite often, the right to bear arms should not be infringed. Now, they are absolutely right. Gun ownership is known as an American tradition and is solidified by the Second Amendment. But if we stop and think about what an absolute right to bear arms would be like, it would become clear very quickly what the people making the argument don't believe it themselves. According to David Burke, president of Citizens Take Action Foundation, believes if that were so, then individuals who have mental issues or terrorists would be able to own guns, or there wouldn't be any age restrictions. So children will also be able to own guns as well. Now, of course, it's obvious none of us actually believe that last statement, so it's safe to say opponents also believe in some form of gun control. But what laws are adequate and which ones are overstepping? Given the obvious disparity between the views, it's very, very important to try to weed through the false, half-truth accusations. So the next things I'm going to cover are some of the statements that each party likes to make and point out some of the facts. Let's think about the statement, gun control laws do not deter crime. Gun ownership deters crime. Now, opponents do have a point there. It's been proven in many cases that banning assault weapons do not have a significant effect on reducing murder rates. Also, I may add that the states that have the highest gun ownership have the lowest murder rates also. But proponents have an argument also. There has been over 530,000 deaths between 1999 and 2015. To give you an example, 5 women are murdered every single day by a gun in America. To put that into perspective, the Afghan-Iraq war lasted between 2001 and 2015. 5,600 soldiers were killed. Between 2001 and 2012, a couple years less than the war, around 6,400 women were killed by a gun by their partner in America, per sources of procon.org. Now, although both sides do have valid points to back up their arguments, it's imperative that we do not forget what we are focused on, safety for oneself and our community. Now, the next couple steps statements I'm going to talk about are very popular statements that each side likes to say to one another. Opponents say, more gun control is not needed. Education about guns and gun safety is needed to prevent gun deaths. While proponents say, more gun control laws would reduce gun deaths. Opponents truly feel that guns don't kill people. People kill people. They also believe that there should be more weapons training, and they also believe that there should be mental health screenings to prevent massacres. According to Richard Rowe, a pro-gun activist, says, the fact that violent crime rate in America has been at a steady decline since 1993, even with a large increase in gun ownership, only helps support the argument. Now, proponents, on the other hand, have hard evidence to back up their arguments as well. According to the Council of Foreign Relations, it is a known fact that countries who have stricter gun control laws than America also have lower gun killings and murder rates. It's also known that the gun homicide rates in America are twice as amount as any other country. According to CBS Research, These following 5 states, Alaska, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Arkansas, all have lax gun control laws. Yet, these 5 states are the top 5 in gun killings. The current state that I live in right now, Utah, is ranked number 19. Of the states I just listed, there are no permit requirements to purchase a firearm. Now let's think about that for a second. Even if you're an opponent or a proponent, would the approach of having stricter gun control laws help these states with these issues, or the opposite, the opponent's view, which is following the existing laws that are in place and incorporate more gun education? As I stated before, gun control could be a very sticky situation for many individuals. But both sides have adequate arguments that justify their arguments. What we do next as a nation is to come to a compromise and develop a form of common sense gun control laws that we all agree on. Now, what those laws are is up for debate. Thank you.